western Oregon lies an expansive valley, named for the river that flows through it. From the southern high country, the coast and middle fork converge into the river's main stem near the cities of Eugene and Springfield, where it's promptly joined by the Mackenzie. The waterway takes a northbound heading past the bustling metropolis of Harrisburg, then onwards to the cities of Corvallis and Albany, through Oregon's capital of Salem, and then over to Oregon City, where one encounters the only major obstacle on the river's entire journey, a 40-foot drop down a turbulent waterfall. Provided one survives the plunge, it's but a short way down to Portland, a city seemingly perpetually blanketed by thick cloud and drizzle. As the name suggests, one begins to encounter large ships and the facilities to accommodate the loading and unloading of cargo. This is close to the river's final destination. For only a few miles away, it converges with the enormous Columbia River here at Kelly Point. This mighty watercourse supports an even higher density of cargo ships and ports than its tributary. The Columbia serves as a boundary between Oregon and Washington state, as it takes a norwesterly heading for 100 miles or so, passing the town of Astoria before discharging into the wild Pacific Ocean. Oh, did we get the dog?
Yep, just back there. We better have. She's our most important piece of cargo.
Yes, indeed. Captain of the boat.
Our destination is Springfield, Oregon. Although it's not too far away, we're choosing to break up the journey over 2 days. Departing from near the Black Stump, we make our way to the I-5 heading north past Redding to an arm of Lake Shasta, which is looking a little low, as one might expect this time of year. We find a camp beneath a railway bridge, used infrequently by the lengthy trains transporting cargo across the deep ravine. Although the fishing proved non-productive, the swimming was acceptable. Cricket adheres to the no-wake zone and manages to paddle to shore with barely a ripple. The following day sees us arriving in Springfield at Armitage Park on the banks of the Mackenzie River. This RV campground gets quite busy, so we had to make a booking in advance. Once we're in our spot, the next task involves separating our gear into what's coming with us and what's staying in the disco. The little dog's a bit skeptical concerning these proceedings. When everything is organized, we hire a car, and in both vehicles, take to the I-5 again and head north.
As for all the other waterways we've done, they've generally had shuttle services, meaning they'll drop you off and pick you up, or in the case that we've used many times, they'll shuttle your vehicle from where you left it to where you're going to go. Not the case with this one, which creates quite a few headaches, as where to leave the vehicle close to the takeout point. So we found a website called neighbour.com where people rent out spare space in their yard, and we've had to rent one for 2 months even though we need it for 2 weeks. However, I still think it's going to be cheaper than long-term parking at the Portland airport, and it's going to be a lot more convenient. A little less than a 2-hour drive has us arrive to where the disco will be spending the next 2 or 3 weeks, alongside a cluster of RVs, trailers and cars. With all of us now in the little Buick, Wilm steers it southbound, back to where we started. In the meantime, Cricket and I take the opportunity to get some rest. Upon arrival back in Springfield, we make a stop at the supermarket to obtain supplies for our expedition. Following morning finds us devoid of a land-based vehicle and undertaking some final preparations before hauling our gear down to the banks.
Oh, I was going to take it all the way, but I don't think I can. I'm worried I'll collapse. I'm buggered. I'm buggered. There you are, keep me fresh. Keeping me fresh.
After a very busy morning, the canoe is finally packed. Now we're headed to Oregon City, eventually.
It's a swift flow.
From here to our proposed takeout point near Oregon City is about 150 miles as the river flows. There are times when the canoe clocks up to 8 miles per hour with the current. That's just under 13 kilometers per hour in foreign speed.
Oh, you get drenched.
Well, the water is clear and it's glassy. There's a little bit of a current, but obviously we picked the swiftest place to put in, which seems really unnecessary, but I guess it made for an exciting start to the trip.
Here we are on day one. We're on the Mackenzie River. It's a 3-mile stretch to the river we want to be on, which is the Willamette, or you could call it the Willamette. Now, we could have consulted with some locals about the correct pronunciation for a more professional kind of presentation. However, that would be way off brand. Yeah, so that little section there wasn't as bad as we feared, but we saw that buggered boat. It was a canoe wrapped around on itself, so I figure we'll just, you know, take it a little slow and easy. This is day one. Well, that was a bumpy old ride, but as you can see back here, we're at the confluence, not that you'd really know it, the confluence of the Mackenzie and the Willamette.
after about a 6-mile paddle, or just under, we've come to what we're pretty sure is our first campsite. Mile marker 174? 172? I don't know. Anyways, 6-mile paddle, and we're home. Work. This looks pretty nice because we got a little bit of greenery, we got some shade. We can put the tent maybe over there, it's not too rocky. And then we got that log over there where we can tie up the canoe, and it's not that bad of a portage.
On the gravel bar extension of our island camp, we spy a golden eagle feeding on a huge fish carcass. Once the raptor has had its fill and departed, Cricket and myself go to investigate. This is an auspicious sign. There's a few promising localities for us to test the waters.
We have our first catch on the Willamette. I don't know if it's some kind of a sucker again. I don't know. I've got a lot to learn about me fish.
Green Island, owned by the Mackenzie Land Trust, begins at the river's confluence with the Willamette and extends downriver right for several miles. The Trust's primary intent with the island is to restore it to a more agreeable habitat for wildlife and native fish species. The forest contains black cottonwood trees, Oregon ash, and Oregon grape. There are also international invaders occupying the riverway, such as the common or great mullein with its long stem of yellow flowers, popular with a variety of insects. What is likely to be a common daisy is a widespread plant originating in Europe. Jimson weed or devil's snare is most likely a Central American plant attributed to have hallucinogenic properties, though your local street corner pharmacist probably has better stuff. The native Pacific willow is dominant on the gravel bars.
Now there's those big round ones are pine, so they might be a bit poppy and smoky.
All right.
Well, it's definitely feeling like Oregon. It started raining maybe 20 minutes ago. It's very gloomy. But it's not rubbing it.
The weather eases off by the time we reach our new camp, allowing for some very important activities to be undertaken, though there is a paucity of positive results. Tactics are changed by switching to the Tenkara rod, but still nothing presents itself, and Cricket's patience has been sorely tested. By late afternoon, even the little dog has given up. However, this seems to be the time things come alive.
Just like a little pike minnow. Very slimy.
Unfortunately, our run of luck was brief. We've awoken to a rather chilly morning on our third day, which is going to give us our first taste of civilization. And I do admit my sources are somewhat unreliable, but they say that the town of Harrisburg is a bustling community that can fulfill all your worldly desires within the realms of reason. Now, I have heard that there's a Subway there, so that could be a chicken teriyaki for lunch, or perhaps a Philly steak.
I think they're going to get out of this one without a push. Let's see what I can do.
Oh!
Almost a catastrophe. Oh yes, that is a boat ramp. Harrisburg.
Upon arrival, Cricket and myself are left to guard the vessel, whilst Wilms ventures off to explore the town. Me and Cricket get our sandwich.
And there we have it. Harrisburg's lived up to its expectations.
Considering the rivers flow through the most populous region in the state, it does an exceptional job in creating an illusion of wilderness. Through the efforts of a number of organisations and landowners, a near continuous barrier of riparian forests lines the river's banks, though on some occasions that line is quite thin. Riverside properties have been purchased when possible and set aside for restoration and habitat for wildlife, and often is accessible only by boat. Most of the fertile Willamette Valley is utilised for agriculture, with many different crops being targeted, from grass seed to orchards. It is the sounds that betray the false veil of remoteness, with the constant hum of traffic from neighbouring highways, jets and light aircraft overhead. Distant trains and machineries of industry are a near constant along the journey. Visually, however, down in the flow of this mighty watercourse, there are times you could be forgiven for thinking you're in the middle of nowhere.
Be sure to join us for part 2 of our journey down the Willamette.